You spent the whole morning on your computer. You reorganized your downloads folder into 12 labeled subfolders. You color-coded your Google Drive. You renamed 47 files so they follow a consistent naming convention. You set up a new folder structure for a project that doesn't exist yet. You feel incredible, like you conquered something. Then someone asks how the actual report is going, and you realize you haven't typed a single word. 3 hours of peak productivity, 0 work.
Here's the strange part. You weren't lazy. You weren't avoiding effort. You spent 3 hours feeling seriously productive. So why did the document never move? And why, this is the weirdest part, does it not feel like procrastination? Procrastination feels guilty. This feels accomplished. Why? Stay with me. By the end of this, you'll know which one you've been doing, and you'll feel the difference in your body.
Let me show you what this sounds like in my head. I sit down to write, the document is open, and my brain goes, okay, let's do this. Actually, wait, where did I save that reference doc? Let me find it. Oh no, this folder is a mess. I can't work like this. Let me just quickly sort these files so I can find things. Okay, these go here, those go there. Oh, this one doesn't have a label. Let me rename it. Actually, I should rename all of them so they're consistent. Because apparently the report can't begin until every PDF has found its true identity. You know what? Let me reorganize the whole folder structure while I'm at it. This is important. I need a clean workspace to think clearly. 45 minutes later, my files are perfect. My document is still blank. And somehow, I feel like I accomplished something.
Oh, I know that loop. I did a version of it this morning. I had an article to finish and I spent 20 minutes reorganizing my Notion workspace instead. Same thing. It didn't feel like avoidance, it felt like preparation. But here's what I noticed while I was doing it. Halfway through the reorganizing, my shoulders dropped. There was this small, smooth sense of relief. I felt that before the work was done. Hold on to that. We're going to come back to it. Clue 1. Let's start with the obvious explanation.
Right, this is just procrastination, isn't it? I'm avoiding the hard thing by doing easier things instead. Classic.
Let's try that on. It fits a few things. You're avoiding the report. You're picking easier tasks. And researchers have actually seen a version of this in a setting nothing like ours. Researchers have seen a version of this in emergency departments. When workload rose, doctors became more likely to pick up easier, faster cases. On the surface, the system looked like it was moving. But when the researchers adjusted for how complex those cases were, the easy task pattern wasn't the win it first looked like. More things seemed to be moving. The heavier work was still waiting.
Wait, but hold on. If this is just procrastination, why does it feel responsible? Procrastination feels guilty. I've procrastinated by scrolling Instagram. That feels terrible the whole time. This doesn't. This feels like I'm doing the right thing. That's not the same.
That's exactly the contradiction. Procrastination explains why we avoid. It doesn't explain why the avoiding feels productive. So this isn't just procrastination, there's something else hiding underneath. The second clue is stranger. Let's try the next obvious explanation.
Maybe it's just preparation. Like, I genuinely do need a clean workspace. I work better when things are organized. Isn't this just being thorough?
That's a much closer fit. And here's the thing. Sometimes it's true. Sometimes a folder genuinely needs sorting before you can find what you need. That's real preparation. So I want to be careful here. This video isn't saying organizing is bad. It isn't saying you should work in chaos. Sometimes preparation is exactly what's needed. The trap isn't the organizing. The trap is when the organizing has no shipping date. Here's the test. Real preparation helps you ship something specific today. If you're sorting files because you need a specific document for a specific task right now, that's work. If you're sorting files because the folder could be better, something else is happening.
Yeah, most of the time when I'm organizing, I'm not preparing for anything specific. I'm just organizing because it feels like I should.
And remember that little shoulder drop I told you to hold on to? That tiny relief I felt 20 minutes into reorganizing my Notion? That's part of the second clue. The body got something. Before any work was done. Notice that. So the board finally has shape. Sorting gives you 3 rewards at once. A completion signal, something got finished. A responsibility signal, it looks like work. A relief signal, your body gets a break from the scary task. That stack is why organizing is so seductive. It is not empty pleasure. It is pleasure wearing a work badge. 3 rewards stacked on the same behavior, all firing while the actual work doesn't move. There's a name for this pattern. The sorting high. Once you see the sorting high, you start spotting it everywhere.
The way I spend an hour setting up a Notion template for meal planning, but never actually plan a meal.
Sorting high on the system instead of the outcome.
The way I reorganize my bookmarks into perfect folders, but haven't read an article in weeks.
Sorting high on curation instead of actually reading.
The way I spend 30 minutes choosing the perfect playlist to study to, and then study for 10.
Sorting high on the environment instead of the activity.
The way I customize every setting in a new productivity app before entering a single task.
Sorting high on the tool instead of the work.
The way I spend 40 minutes improving my AI prompt template, instead of writing the thing I wanted AI to help me write.
Sorting high on the assistant instead of the output.
The way I spent an entire Sunday reorganizing the garage, but haven't started the home repair I reorganized it for.
Sorting high on preparation instead of execution. The same warehouse, shelves getting prettier, dock still empty. And here's the part that makes this pattern compound. Every hour you spend sorting instead of shipping, the real work piles up. The more it piles up, the harder it can feel to start. The harder it feels, the more your brain craves the relief of organizing. The sorting high doesn't just steal today's output, it can make tomorrow's real work feel heavier, which makes tomorrow's sorting high even more appealing. It feeds itself.
So the longer I sort instead of ship, the harder it gets to stop sorting.
That's the loop. And recognizing the loop is the first step to interrupting it.
So I'm not lazy. And I'm not even disorganized. I've been getting high on the check marks. Reorganizing the warehouse instead of shipping anything from it.
That's the sorting high. Your brain isn't broken. It's doing exactly what completion bias predicts, chasing the signal that feels like progress. The organizing was never the problem. It was the destination. You were building the most beautiful warehouse in the world, with an empty loading dock.
The organizing was never the problem. The staying there was.
And here's what I want you to notice. The sorting high has a physical signature. The clue I told you to hold on to, the shoulder drop, the small relief, that was the tell. Let's bring it forward and make it usable. When you're deep in an organizing session, moving files, labeling things, making everything neat, notice what your body is doing.
There's this warmth, like a steady low hum of satisfaction. My shoulders are relaxed. My jaw is loose. It feels smooth.
That's the organizing state. Now think about what your body does the moment you try to switch from organizing to the actual task, the report, the hard email, the thing you were supposedly preparing for.
The warmth kind of drains. There's a tightness, like a door closing in my chest.
That contrast is your sorting high detector. You don't have to analyze whether you're doing real work or meta work. Your body already knows. The smoothness is the tell. When work feels that consistently smooth, it might be because you're sorting shelves instead of shipping packages. So here's the experiment. It's called the ship first check. Tomorrow, when you sit down to work, you're going to feel the pull. The inbox wants sorting. The desktop wants cleaning. The files want renaming. And those things will feel urgent and productive. Before you do any of them, ship one thing. One small, real deliverable. Write one paragraph. Send one email. Complete one slide. Not the whole project, one shipment. 15 minutes of dock work before any shelf work.
What if my workspace genuinely needs organizing first?
Then ask, can I find what I need to ship one thing right now? If yes, ship first, sort after. If genuinely no, organize just enough to find what you need, then ship immediately. The rule is, organizing earns its time by enabling a shipment today, not someday, today. And here's the part I need you to pay attention to. When you ship that one thing, that paragraph, that email, notice how it feels compared to organizing. It might feel rougher, less smooth, maybe even a little uncomfortable. That's normal. Shipping doesn't produce the same clean satisfaction as sorting. But notice your body after. There's a different quality to it. Less sparkle, more weight, more substance. Here's your challenge. For the next 3 days before you sort anything, ship one thing. Then comment 3 lines. What I shipped, what I wanted to sort instead, what I felt in my body when I switched.
What if I catch myself sorting before shipping?
Then you just caught the sorting high in action. That's not failure, that's detection. Write that down too. The awareness is the experiment, not the perfection. I'll share my report too. Because I reorganized my entire research folder yesterday instead of finishing this script. I'm still practicing. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're not even disorganized. You might be the most organized person in the room. You've just been building the most beautiful warehouse in the world and forgetting to ship anything from it. Now you know. The shelves were never the problem. The empty dock was. And one small shipment is all it takes to change the ratio.